In this crash course, I'll show you exactly how lanes work. Lanes are basically the areas of the map each player controls. Most modes naturally split into 3 lanes: left, mid, and right. If 2 people stack the same lane, you're already at a disadvantage. So what should you actually do? At the start of the match, spread out immediately. 1 player goes left, 1 goes mid, and 1 goes right. Don't hesitate. The faster you take your lane, the more control your team gets early. Once you're in your lane, your job is simple. Stay alive, apply pressure, and don't give up space for free. You don't need to rush kills. Just forcing your opponent back is already winning. A huge mistake players make is overpushing. If you push too far and die, you lose your entire lane. And now your team gets collapsed on from the side. Winning your lane isn't about aggression. It's about control. You also need to understand your matchup. If your brawler outranges them, keep your distance and chip them down. If they outrange you, use walls and cover to close the gap. Don't play every lane the same way. Adapt to who you're facing. Once you win your lane, don't just stay there doing nothing. This is when you rotate. Move toward mid or another lane and help your team. This creates pressure and turns fights into 2v1 situations. That's how games snowball. If you're losing your lane, don't panic. Play safer, fall back, wait for support. Feeding kills only makes it worse. So what do you do when you're low? Most players just run straight back and give up their lane. That's the worst thing you can do. Instead, you want to heal while still holding pressure. Start by backing up just enough to avoid damage, but not so far that you lose control of your space. If you give too much ground, your opponent will take it and start pushing you out completely. Use walls, bushes to take cover. This forces your opponent to overextend in many cases just to try getting a kill on you. While you're healing, keep throwing shots. You don't even need to hit them. You just need to make them respect your presence and think twice before pushing forward. If they feel pressure, they hesitate. If they hesitate, you keep your lane. But if they can walk up for free, you've already lost control. Another important part is positioning. Try to stand at angles where they can't easily hit you, but you can still threaten them if they step too far forward. This creates a zone they don't want to enter. Even at low health, you're still controlling space just by existing in the right position. You're not walking back and losing your lane to heal. You're denying space, applying pressure, and forcing your opponent to play carefully. That's what keeps your lane alive. Good players heal and give up space. Great players heal while controlling space and keeping pressure. That's how you stay in the game even when you're losing your lane. Now let's talk about offense. Winning your lane isn't just about surviving. It's about taking control and forcing your opponent back. The first step is landing your shots, but not by spamming randomly. You need to aim with intent and predict movement instead of reacting late. Watch how your opponent dodges. Most players have patterns. They move left, right, or panic in the same way every time. Punish that. Once you land a few shots, don't stop. This is when you apply pressure. Push forward slowly and take space from them. But don't overextend. You want controlled aggression. Step up just enough to threaten them, but not enough to throw your advantage. Positioning is what turns pressure into control. Use walls, angles, and cover to make it harder for them to hit you while keeping them exposed. If you control the better position, they're forced to play defensive. And once they're defensive, you've already won half the lane. Now let's talk about pinching. Pinching is when 2 players pressure the same enemy from different angles. If you win your lane, don't just sit there. Start moving toward mid or another lane to create a pinch. This turns fights into unfair situations. The enemy has to deal with multiple angles at once, and most players can't handle that. Even just stepping slightly toward another lane can create pressure. You don't always need to fully rotate to make an impact. The goal of offense isn't just getting kills. It's forcing bad positions, controlling space, and making the enemy uncomfortable. If you can consistently hit shots, take space, and create pressure, you'll start winning your lane almost every game. And once you win your lane consistently, the game becomes way easier. Now let's talk about defense. Defense isn't just about surviving. It's about holding your ground without giving the enemy control of the map. When you're on defense, your goal is simple. Don't die, don't give space for free, and don't let your lane collapse. The worst thing you can do is panic. Most players start running straight back and give up their entire lane. That's how games spiral out of control. Instead, slow the game down. Back up just enough to stay safe, but stay close enough to keep pressure. You should always be a threat. Use cover to your advantage. Walls and angles let you avoid damage while still contesting your lane. If they can't see you clearly, they can't push freely. Even on defense, keep throwing shots. You don't need to win the fight. You just need to stop them from walking forward for free. Every shot you throw forces them to hesitate, and hesitation is what gives you time to recover. Positioning matters even more on defense. Stand where you can fall back safely, but still threaten if they overextend. If you're too far back, you lose control. If you're too far forward, you die. Good defense is finding the balance between both. Now let's talk about stalling. Sometimes you can't win your lane, but you can delay it. Stalling means buying time for your team, dodging shots, staying alive, and making it hard for the enemy to push. If you can hold your lane long enough, your teammates can win theirs, and that turns the game back in your favor. Defense isn't flashy, but it wins games, because not losing your lane is just as important as winning it. Bad matchup? Don't force it. Focus on stalling, staying alive, and buying time for your team to win elsewhere. If you master defense, you'll stop feeding, hold more control, and stay in games you should be losing.